kind of backtrack. And you should have kept my name out your mouth. As we go, how it all turned out. When you try to use my name for clout, keep on going, give me something you could talk about.
Truly, truer words. I mean, it's the song that keeps on giving. Each and every year that goes by, each and every month, each and every day, it seems. Each and every day, it seems that song becomes more and more prophetic. Yes, it does. Selling out real friends for a paycheck. That was something that I wrote many, many moons ago, and it just keeps being true. It just keeps being alarmingly true. If you know what I'm talking about already, if you're one of the few people I've already reached out to and told about this situation, I mean, not to be cryptic, but I do have something very important coming down the pipeline for y'all to tell y'all. It is shocking. It is astonishing. It is betrayal at the highest degrees. It has just lies have been told. And guess what? I'm a victim of it. Yup. Yup. It involves somebody being held against their will in the Florida Shuffle and things like that. But yeah, I'm actually waiting for a few more records to come back, and I'm actually just waiting for the dust to settle in this situation, y'all. But I have to sound the alarm on something very serious that has happened over here on this channel. Yes, I do. And it's scary. And I mean, just what I'm willing to say now, what I'm able to say now is you can't trust nobody. You really can't. Nope. And just, on that note, I don't know none of these people on this online. Okay. So if anybody is using my name to get y'all to do something, to lure y'all somewhere, please just be very aware. That ain't me. Unless you heard it from me, don't let just because somebody was over here on this channel doing something at some point, just because I may have, had a relationship with somebody or something like that. Please be very aware that you need to use your own judgment. And if somebody is using my name, my reputation, or their apparent purported proximity to me to lure somebody somewhere, that ain't me. And I would actually strongly discourage y'all from doing that. I don't have meetups. I've never had a meetup. The only time you're going to see me is around and about a court date. Okay, hold on one second. One thing I don't take kindly to is manipulation and being lied to. One thing I don't take kindly to is being used. All right. So, with that being said, selling out real friends for a paycheck. Indeed. Okay. No one was pretending to be me. Okay. Y'all need to relax. Y'all need to relax. Also, something else I need y'all to know and be aware of. I'm real suspicious right now, and I'm real on edge right now. Even more so than normal. So if somebody is even, just make sure you check in the typos before you press send, because I'm block happy today. All right. And this just came up like right now. That's why I'm fine. I'm fine. Garden State Accountability. I'm fine. It just came up right now. I just found out about some sinister, despicable, unforgivable, inexcusable behavior just within the last like 30 minutes before this stream. So, just listening and trying to get in the mindset of I want to get ready for my stream and stuff like that. I mean, just like y'all, before you go to work, you got to kind of forget about that stuff. But I'm gonna put it to you this way. I'm real mad and I got some things to say. I'm real mad and I got some things to say. I don't take kindly to being lied to or manipulated. And I don't take kindly to having people using my name to do sinister and unforgivable things. Okay. So I'll leave it at that. So what are we here for now? For now, I do have I have way more to say. That being said, that's not what today's video is supposed to be about. Yeah, just trying to get my bearings. Exactly. And again, y'all, it's not like I'm trying to like be necessarily like cryptic or anything like that. It's just like I don't have enough information yet, but best believe the information is coming my way. Oh, anyway, thank you so much, Arwen. My hair looks good. I did my sponge roller set. Selling out real friends for a paycheck. I was listening to the Squirrel Acting Up song and the world premiere. The world premiere of the Squirrel Acting Up, A Squirrel is Acting Up, did just premiere. Shout out to Leroy Truth Investigations in the chats. And that's what kind of also just was like, whoo, man, that song is the gift that keeps on giving. Ask Steve-O how it all turned out when he tried to use my name for clout or use my name for anything. He's traveling around in a van, an RV, like a Comper Chico handler last time I checked. Okay. So let me get into the David updates. That's the reason we're here today. And I don't have this in any particular order. I just put them in order as I found. Okay. As I found them. So let me pull up this. This is a Reddit thread. Now, I didn't even like read fully, wholly all of these, every word in this Reddit thread, but I did, I did think that it was interesting enough to bring it to y'all's attention. Now, when the David and Celeste situation was first kind of breaking news and things like that, I would cover it a lot. I would cover it often. And I was trying to get to the bottom of it as a member of the public with no extra special information more than the public has. But, little by little by little, as the case has gone on and we haven't gotten any word back from the toxicology report, it's kind of come to a little bit of a standstill and it's kind of turned into nothing but speculation. So that's why I have kind of taken a little bit of a break on the case. And I do see in the Reddit and stuff like that, like there are people who, are getting impatient, which is totally understandable. It does feel like these things could be handled a little bit faster. But for me personally, I'm not really that pressed about how long it's taking yet. And we'll talk a little bit about that as to why, but I've mentioned it before. And the reason is because this is in general, how long toxicology reports are taking in LA. So they're taking this long no matter what for the regular average person. And I do not personally think that we should give special treatment to special celebrity cases. I think everybody's case should go through the system as equal protection under the law. This is what the Constitution says. So it just takes this long to get a toxicology report in LA County. There's a lot of information. Thank you, Arwen. Good point. There is also, in addition to what I'm saying, there is also a lot of information and data and devices to investigate. This is true, but I think that so far, and I reserve the right to change my mind, but at least for the next week or two, I'm not waiting, I'm definitely waiting on the edge of my seat. I definitely want to know what the next update's going to be. However, this is just simply how long a toxicology report takes. It just simply is. Steve Fisher Investigates has been keeping up with other toxicology cases, that other deferred type cases like this. And he says that we could expect to see something as soon as 6 days from today. So again, y'all, it's not another week before we should really start worrying. And again, I totally understand why people want to know, and I understand the lack of patience. But for me so far, and y'all, look, listen, if I can take an opportunity to talk some, on the officials in LA, I'm going to do it. But for me personally, right now, I don't think it's dragging on too long. I think this is exactly the time that the other cases in this jurisdiction have taken for toxicology reports to come out. So this is just about how long it takes. Sarah Adams said 8 to 12 weeks, and it has been about 8 weeks. Yeah, it's been about 2 months. I don't know exactly how many weeks. And again, y'all, and remember, in California, they only have 2 or 3 days, 48, 72 hours or something like that to bring charges once they arrest someone. So I do believe it actually would be irresponsible and jumping the gun a little bit to arrest anybody yet because they don't even have a cause of death for Celeste. Now, does this mean that once they get the cause of death back, if it says, unconfirmed or undetermined or something like that, that doesn't mean that someone can't be charged. It just means that now the prosecution knows what they actually have to do. And what they're up against. So if they were to arrest somebody, let's just say, we finally get the Celeste Rivas Hernandez toxicology report back as the public, and it says, gunshot wound to the whatever. Well, okay, that would be a lot easier to say someone murmured her because the cause of death will be marked as a murmur or a homicide. Whereas if it just says undetermined, then it's going to be a little bit harder. But look, Emmanuel Harrow, he was just now the parents, the Jake Harrow, and just Jake for sure. Hold on one second. I have to send a text. Again, y'all, I have a lot going on in the back end before. Right. The speedy trial rights begin in custody. And remember, y'all, as bad as it looks for David and on David, we have to remember that people get set up all the time. Black men in particular get set up, in particular, Black men who are very young, who came into the music industry as a teenager, right? Am I saying David is getting set up? No, I said it. It looks bad. It don't look good. It don't look good. But just knowing all of these things, it's something that for me, I'm not like rushing to be like, oh, hurry up. They're doing something wrong yet. Now, just as y'all know me, just as soon as it starts to look like something is amiss over here, I'll be the first one. I'll be the first one to jump on it. Okay. But yes, Cannabis Caitlin living with GPS said in Massachusetts, it took almost 3 months to get my husband's toxicology report back. But that was in 2021, which was the, what era. I think it does just take about that long in a lot of states, not just California. Now, add on top of that we do have a severely, severely decomposed body. Supposedly, I mean, I didn't see it, but that's what's being reported. Hold on. Some of the chemical processes of the toxicology report also just do take time. Agreed. That is true. And all of that. Okay. So I want to bring up this again. Like I said, this is no particular order. It's just the order that I found things in this morning. And this was a Reddit post from 22 hours ago. And take it with a grain of salt. It is just a Reddit post. But I did find a few different items that I thought was, that I thought were worth bringing to y'all's attention today. So I am here to talk about the David situation, even though we still don't have the autopsy results from Celeste. Okay, so this was from yesterday. It says on January 2nd, 2025, David created a second Instagram account with a Hello Kitty profile picture holding a digital camera. So it's Hello Kitty holding a camera. I don't know if it's digital camera. I mean, I guess that could be any kind of camera, but anyway, that same day is the day that Steve Fisher, that's the private investigator, reported what's believed to be the last known picture of Celeste or the last time she was seen alive. Okay, so for the timeline, right? January 2nd, 2025, right around December 2024 and January 2025, earlier this year, a whole bunch of stuff was popping off. David had wiped clean his Instagram account. On top of that, Steve Fisher is claiming that January 2nd, 2025 is the last time that he was able to confirm that Celeste was even alive, right? Like, okay, well, the last sign of life that, seen alive was January 2025. And remember, we did talk about this a little bit last time whenever I did my last live on this situation. I was like, y'all, I don't know if it's a, I need the as a conservatorship or jail. I don't know if it's the delusions of grandeur, what was I do? I'm not going to escape the schizophrenia allegations, but like for me, how, when I thought about how long she had been dead, for some reason, like this imagery of like a meat locker came into my mind, had hooks and stuff. And I'm like, what if they froze her? But then at the time I was like, I don't want to just like be adding to this speculation, like maybe I'll start a psychic vision from the Lord channel, but I don't want to be adding to speculation. I don't want to be adding speculation about, oh, it could have been frozen for months. Like, why would I say that with no proof? It was just like a flash in my mind. Well, now we're being told the last time, and by Steve Fisher, there's Raven visions. I think it's Crow. People are saying they thought about butchers too, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Joy Conley said I would watch the psychic vision from the Lord channel. Maybe I'll put it on bedtime wind down. Yeah, and that's the thing too. The only when I said it on my last live, so many people were like, I just got full body chills. I had the same thought. Oh, the Raven. Oh, yes, That's So Raven. Yes, 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 yes. It was like, yeah, exactly like that. Exactly like that. So I don't know if that's true or not, y'all. But it's starting to look like, where are the signs of life since earlier this year? Has she been dead for many, many months longer than originally seemed to have been reported? Et cetera, et cetera. The car then wasn't moved and there's all this timeline we need to really go through. But as far as this post right here on the Reddit is concerned, two big things happened on January 2nd, 2025. One is Steve Fisher, the investigator that the owner of the house David was living in or staying in. Steve Fisher says that the last time that he's able to show that Celeste was alive in a picture was January 2nd, 2025. And then on that same day, January 2nd, 2025, allegedly, according to this Reddit post in the David thread from 22 hours ago, the David Reddit, he created a second Instagram account that day with a Hello Kitty profile picture. She's holding a digital camera or a camera of some sort in the picture. And this is the same day that Steve Fisher reported that she was the last time she was seen. Here's a picture of him with a digital camera and his iPhone, another picture of him. Okay, so this post does go on. It says this date and time frame are very significant. Before wiping all his social media posts at the start of the year, David created a second account on January 2nd and began posting pictures there. Now, someone had asked, what is the significance of the Hello Kitty? Personally, he might just like Hello Kitty, y'all. I mean, I don't really exactly know. But people are pointing to the missing persons poster. The Celeste Rivas Hernandez missing person poster from April 2024 did state that she had some type of Hello Kitty item of accessory, whatever it was. It was like a Hello Kitty slippers, Hello Kitty sandals, Hello Kitty something. But does that mean necessarily that that is why David put this Hello Kitty profile picture? No, of course not. And I don't even know if David made this account. I'm just reading a Reddit post. Okay. So again, take it with a grain of salt. The account that David created was named David's Gallery, featuring a Hello Kitty girl holding a camera. He also deleted some pictures during those days I found very interesting, and it seems like he left a lot of clues there. Now, he says on this Reddit, whoever this person is or she, Jenny, the Ween, it says people also don't believe Steve Fisher actually has a picture of her alive from this time frame. The person says, but I believe he's telling the truth and the dates do line up. As far as I'm concerned, y'all, I have no reason to believe Steve Fisher's lying. That being said, I have no proof of the picture that Steve Fisher saw. So if somebody on the internet on Reddit wants to think that, people don't think that Steve Fisher actually has a picture from this time frame. I guess they don't have to, but I don't know why Steve Fisher would be lying. I don't know why he would just make that up. That seems like it would really hurt his credibility. But he has said that he has seen pictures, or at least one photograph, which does seem to indicate that Rivas Hernandez was still alive on January 2nd. But then he says he has not been able to show that she's alive after that in pictures. But he's been very clear. That doesn't mean she wasn't alive. It just means he doesn't have the proof. Again, I don't have all the access to all the stuff that he has. So all I can do is speculate, and I'm not going to put my neck out on the line for Steve Fisher either. I'm not going to say, oh, I think he's telling the truth. I just simply don't know. I don't know. And I would like to see the pictures and stuff before I make a personal opinion on it. But I just wanted to kind of give that a little bit of context because the sentence does come up. The post goes on. It says, now looking at the pictures David posted, they're each tagged with a song and a caption written in Japanese. The first song he used in those pictures was Yume Utsutsu, Between Dream and Reality, by the artist Lamp. The song is about a heartfelt goodbye after a deep love connection. Okay, so this post, they're saying, this post right here, he has a new Instagram account. Happens to be the same day. That's the last day that, Celeste can be shown alive. It's him with this camera. And look how it's got different little songs up here at the top. Apparently, allegedly. See, it's all Japanese, I think, artists. Mai Ihara, Next Time. And then there's a Babbling Brook. The same song. This one says High on a Rock. It's upside down. My site is beautiful. Okay, so this is apparently allegedly supposed to be a new Instagram account that he started on the same day of the last day that Celeste was ever seen alive, apparently, allegedly, according to Steve Fisher. They each have a song. And then one of the songs that he tags in this post is a song about a heartfelt goodbye after a deep love connection, a reflection on how beautiful yet temporary relationships can be. The ending lyrics say, quote, the end of the days I spent with you. The pictures look almost identical to his Withered deluxe cover, which I don't agree with. I don't think it looks almost identical just because it's outside. That don't look identical to me. But the person says, I found another photo that he later deleted showing David standing in a landscape while someone takes pictures behind him. This is the first indication that it might be Celeste with him. The things I found and the other pictures are insane. The next ones he posted show a rocky stream surrounded by a forest, a large boulder. One that caught the poster's attention was a big rock with black writing on it, with the song that's entitled Next Time by Mai Ihara. The song is about two people sharing deep connection that eventually fades away. A bittersweet goodbye. And so if you take all these different like sad, emo like breakup songs and you put it with the fact that Celeste wasn't seen again afterward, and you put it with the fact that it seems to be, going around in the Discord, that's about the time that David and Celeste had broken up at some point. We did discuss this in a previous video that I made. Everything is so morbid. I know, seriously. It just starts to look like maybe at the very least he did break up with Celeste or end the friendship with Celeste or somebody around this time. But it does kind of make me think probably it was Celeste. Again, I don't know. A lot of stuff has just been said over and over and over. So some people have been just repeating it as if it is a fact. But I do just want to remind y'all to keep an open mind because we don't know very much as a fact at all. We have some indications from the public record, which I think is great. I think that we have the right to make our little, assumptions and our little speculations, but let's not get carried away is basically what I'm trying to say. Anyway. Okay. What's insane is a picture with a big rock has writing on it. A cryptic caption. At first glance, you might think it says the word hi, but when you look closer, there's something more to it. The left part of the H has a small cut or gap, which could mean it's meant to be something else. When I viewed the writing from the other side and rotated it, it looks more like the number 14. Oh, okay. To add to that, the caption on the post is written in Japanese and translates to "My sight is beautiful," followed by a Spanish punctuation mark, an inverted exclamation point. Normally, this symbol appears at the beginning of a sentence, but David placed it at the end, likely for expressive or artistic effect. But isn't it oddly specific to include Celeste's age and a caption with a Spanish symbol? Looking through all of this, I genuinely think Celeste was with David at that time. And the reports from Steve Fisher claiming he had last known pictures of her on January 2nd seem to line up with that. Did something really happen during this time? My last post on this account was January 2025, followed the last post on the account was January 2025, followed by a long gap until May 2025 when he uploaded a photo with his main group. The caption on that picture, okay, so a new account pops up January 2025. He posts a few things on there. This rock picture that he's talking about is like maybe it's supposed to be 14. It could be a high though. Looks like maybe high. And little deer legs here. Still love it though. Beautiful scape that didn't make it to the main page. These little baby deer legs. Still love it though. This is the high. It looks like high to me. It just looks like high. It looks like high. Especially here because it's like May, like I don't know, I don't know. But I could see what he's saying. You know, if it is maybe it's 14, maybe it's supposed to be something like that. Maybe. Who knows? However, months go by and then it's May. Then it's May 2025. He uploads another photo to the main group. The caption on that picture reads, "I have been abhorrently sad as of late, which is why I haven't been inspired to post here in a while. But I went to the beach with my friends this morning and it made me feel better." Now, this could mean a lot of things in this case. Was he with Neo or Asia or someone else? Let's not forget he wiped all his social media posts throughout January, right up until the very end, when he began teasing his Withered album and posting strange things on X and his broadcast channel. Around that same time, he also filmed the music video for One More Dance. He changed the profile picture of the second account to the current meme sometime in January. The Withered album promo material is very similar to the pictures he took in the park. Also, the landscape for There Goes My Baby, which of course is the song dedicated to Celeste, which I don't know if that's true or not. Increasingly, he shows Itami and himself lying in similar landscapes, grass with roses everywhere, surrounded by forest and nature, but Itami is the one covered in blood. It makes you wonder if he drew inspiration from what actually happened to Celeste, and if those promotional visuals were meant to reflect in that in some way. It's scary to think if it potentially was the last time. Okay. So I wanted to read that to y'all because of the timing of the January 2nd situation. The fact that apparently that was the last time that Celeste was seen in a photograph alive, according to Steve Fisher. And it happens to be the exact same day that David was making this apparent new Instagram account. It seems to have happened along the same exact within a month or so of other reports that we'd seen previously that is when David and Celeste so-called allegedly, quote, broke up, according to the Discord. Okay, so again, take all this with a grain of salt, but I wanted to show y'all that. Now, I want to move on to the next thing that I saw, and this is some Discord logs. Sorry, not Discord logs, call logs. Early 2025 that include vandalism and attempt to break in of a vehicle. Okay, OP. This is from the Reddit. This is from the Celeste Rivas Hernandez Reddit. So there's a David Reddit, but there's also other Reddits associated with the case. So this one is from the Celeste Rivas Hernandez Reddit 2 days ago. It says OP, that means original poster, deleted this call log. So I just thought I would repost it. Sorry for the poor quality. I had to screenshot it from YouTube. This is the Riverside County Sheriff's Department data warehouse report by address. Okay, it is very blurry. I will try to translate here. Okay, so it looks like possibly all the same address. And you can see there's calls in all the way up through 2025, June 2025. There's calls in 2024, very, very, very many. And there's another color coded call breakdown. So let me pull that one up. This one's in the David 2 Reddit. It says 911 call log at Celeste home decoded and explained. Article 4. Okay, so let's pull this up. It's, oh God, it's too blurry for me to see it. But this person has now put things into a color coded system. There's an FU, which is blue. Let's see. Okay, so FU red is just a follow up from an officer returning early reports. The orange is lower level offense or suspicious activity not considered a major crime. PC 534 is vandalism. It's all very blurry. I can't get a cleaner shot of it. I just, am looking at what was on the Reddit. For one, the J stands for juvenile. So PC 242J1 is a juvenile call, juvenile altercation, or just juvenile, or a juvenile adult altercation. This usually means it was some type of domestic incident. Then you have PC 4840, which is a fraudulent use of a credit or a debit card. That looks like that one was in 2024. Then there was SCIRC, a report of a suspicious activity or person without any confirmed crime. Another one is officer assisting a person acting suspiciously. Officer was possibly assisting another agency or responding to a tip. And then there was a medical emergency or a hang up. The M stands for miscellaneous. So you can see barely, but from 2020, 2021, 2022, there was only 3 calls. But then starting sometime in 2024, you just get a blow up of calls. It looks like February 1, 2, 3, 4. These are follow-ups. 24. Look, all these are from 2024. And then it starts back up again in 25. It's like a lot of calls from 2024 and 2025. Again, I know it's blurry. There's not really much I can do about it. Let's see. Can we go over? Okay. So again, this is all kind of stuff here. Somebody has the Freeform app going, but it's just blurry. So it's not really helpful. Oh, good. Okay. Here you go. All right. Look, they got the 911. Okay. So here's the code, context for colors. They have color coded it, and they had requested it from January 1st, 2020 to October 7th, 2025. And again, from 2020 through 2022, there's only 3 calls. There's about 1 a year. 1 in 21, 1 in 2020, and 1 in 2022. But then starting right before Celeste went missing last year, remember she went missing in April. So 2 months before she went missing, you just start getting a flood of calls. The day after Valentine's Day, 2 days after Valentine's Day, 3 days after Valentine's Day, 2024, and then again February 20th, again February 25th, again in March 19th. Now I think this is whenever Celeste ran away in the March 19th, 2024 timeframe. March 26th, 2024, April 1st, 2024, April 2nd, 2024, April 5th. So this is like calls are coming in based on this address. And now they have blacked out the address, but apparently this is all the same address. So yeah, I just wanted to go over that. It says, hey everyone, it's been a while since I've been able to write a post. With that being said, a Redditor from one of these other ones submitted a plain call log. I couldn't find the original again to credit. Excuse me. So let me know the original. Anyway, I color coded the logs and explained the different types of call code meanings to help decipher everything. I also added on one side some relevant events around the time of certain calls. Okay. So that's interesting. I did want to just kind of run that by y'all and let y'all know that someone put a lot of work into that. Okay. So now I want to move on to another, again, this is mostly speculatory theories. But the last time I made a video on this, we were talking a lot about that so-called sadistic equipment that Steve Fisher has been speaking about. Like, what is this sadistic maybe farm related, some type of equipment, some type of tool. What is it? He's kind of avoided like actually saying it, which leads all of us to have to speculate. And someone has a speculation right over here. Yes, thank you, Sarah. Thanks so much, Sarah, for the $2 super chat. And Sarah Adams, yes, also that. Lease was also signed right around the same time all those calls started coming in. The lease was signed Valentine's Day 2024. And thank you for that $2 super chat. Okay, so here's some speculation from 2 days ago. Items in the Tesla trunk photo analysis, and then they did go ahead and censor the remains. So that isn't something that is going to be showing up. This is Article 5. Okay. Theory speculation is how they have it tagged here. So take this whole thing with a grain of salt. Now, this right here appears to be some type of bag, tarp, zip up bag container, something of the sort. And this right here, it's blurry. You can't really tell what it is, but let me click through. The person here is speculating that it's this type of a tool. This type of a tool, like kind of like a spade. Now they have blurred out the remains. And what this appears to be is some type of coat garment bag, a garment bag. Now, again, y'all, please, this is so blurry. It's hardly clear. Okay. You can't really tell what this is. However, I don't think this is bad speculation. I've seen these garment bags before with a little window right here. It could be some type of garment bag. Now, that being said, what they're kind of trying to indicate right here, this right here, is some sort of gardening tool. As you can see here, there is a person, using this tool. It's called a triangular hoe. The heavy duty wide triangular hoe, it's an 8-inch long one, 8-inch wide one, which makes it great for digging and tilling gardens, also called a ridging hoe because it gets used to loosen, pull, and pile soil around the base of plants, like potatoes. This process is called ridging or hilling because it creates a long raised ridge of soil that encourages a more productive potato crop. Okay, so again, that's taking a lot from just this right here. Okay, I don't know what that is. That could be anything. But it says, disclaimer, while all the photos I've provided are real, my information is speculation. Until police confirm what was specifically in there, all should be taken with a grain of salt. This information is purely off what my eyes see, not facts. I'm going to mark this NSFW, even though the body is blurred. If the mods have a problem with even the blurred, they can let me know and I'll try to rearrange. With the topic of a possible shovel coming in the news that was found by the private investigator, I finally went through and organized all the photos from the trunk. I ran it through my forensic photo program, but obviously it can only do so much with one photo so far away. Keep in mind, the possible shovel in the car is not going to be the same thing that Steve Fisher found at David's house. Obviously, yes, clearly. It can't have been found at David's house if it was found in the trunk at the tow yard. The person says, though, I just did find it uncanny that what looks like another shovel is in this Tesla trunk as well. And it's like a gardening tool of some sort. So since that just came up, I rushed to organize all my info on this. I've included multiple variations of the two items, as each one helps comprehend what it is in a different way. I want to bring this to the public because maybe you guys want to point something out that I can't see. Item 1, possible shovel, triangular hoe. In my opinion, the item that was found in the left of the car seems to be some sort of shovel, where the head of the shovel is on the higher flat surface of the frunk. Anyway, it looks like it's connected to a pole which curves. I did some digging, pun intended, around, and it seems to match most a triangular hoe shovel because there are variations that have a curved part. But also, you could argue that when you would be digging, having your foot on the pole part of the shovel is common to get a better grip. But if that was true as well, wouldn't that imply that the shovel was already used in some way? Just something to note. Item number 2, possibly a garment bag. In my opinion, it looks to be a garment that you would commonly put suits in, like, or a like you ever rented a tux or a suit. I can't say much further on that, but or that it really gives me anything that additional to the case, to be honest. But that is all for this. I have been talking to LAPD about getting police footage, but they are being weird about it. As well, hopefully by tomorrow, I will be able to release which store the Build-A-Bear was bought at. And this is just the Rito investigation. So let's look at these pictures a little bit more. Oh, this is what he's saying might be some type of gardening tool. Y'all, this could be a crumpled up tarp. I mean, we really can't tell what it is. But he said he ran it just there to investigate. He ran it, or she ran it, through a forensic photo analysis. I don't know about that forensic photo analysis software. This is just different angles of what he's claiming are possibly a garment bag. He's saying this could be the window to see through the garment bag here. That could be what we see here. Could be. I don't think it's a bad speculation. Durable full-length metal zipper. You see it's like different iterations of garment bags. And then this is what he's saying could possibly be a triangular hose / shovel. Could it be maybe a curved pole? Y'all, I mean, this is like basically reading tarot cards at this point. You can barely see it. But it's interesting he ran it through a forensic analysis software. So I thought that y'all would find that to be interesting. All right, so there's something else weird's done come up here, and I've covered this quite extensively, not only on this channel, but on my other channel, BJ Investigates. I did a David video, and I talked a lot about how David often seemed to kind of use his relationships as a means to an end. And the end in this particular situation was writing music. He seemed to really need to have a relationship in order to write music. And I included a bunch of different clips that kind of gave that impression in that video. But this video also just came out to my attention today. And so I want to show it to y'all. This says this stream was in mid-September 2024. David says his relationship is complicated and he has to have someone write songs about. Just found this strange. And I found it strange too. So I'm going to play it for y'all. Can I make it go faster? No, you can't increase the speed. Okay.
Who are you thinking of?
Hold on.
Are you just making
I wasn't really thinking of nobody. I didn't even have a girlfriend at that point. You know what I'm saying?
You have a girlfriend now?
It's just very complicated point in my life right now.
So I don't know who this guy is on the left, but this is David. This guy here, he's like, do you have a girlfriend? Who are your songs about? Who was that song about? David's like, oh, it wasn't even about anybody because I didn't even have a girlfriend at that time. It was about nobody. Okay, so cool. So you can write a song when you don't have a girlfriend. You can write a song when it's not about nobody. Got it. And then what does David say? He's answering a question where this guy right here, again, no tea, no shade. I just don't know who that is. But he's asking David, like, do you have a girlfriend right now? And David's like, oh, it's complicated. This was mid-September 2024.
You have a girlfriend now?
It's just very complicated point in my life right now. You know, especially navigating through an album process, you gotta have a muse. You gotta write songs about somebody, right?
Through the album process, you gotta have a girlfriend because you gotta have a muse. Well, his album was done in April, so was he not interested? Was he not interested in having his muse anymore? I don't know. I mean, who knows? A streamer with the Phase Group. Shout out to Gangland Duda. Shout out to Down the Rabbit Hole News. But like, okay, so I just wanted to show y'all this specific, clip right here. We're not done with it yet, but this came out about 3 or 4 months before what we're now speculating might have been a breakup period of time for David and Celeste. And this would line up perfectly fine with him putting an album out in April and then going on tour, the next year, about 1 year before he went on tour, about 11 months. So again, let me let y'all hear this guy. He's going to say, do you have a girlfriend? And David's going to say it's very complicated, but the reason that's complicated isn't because it hurts his feelings and it hurts his heart. No. The reason it's complicated is because he needs a muse to write his music.
You have a girlfriend now?
It's just very complicated pulling them
Oh,
away from
shit.
especially navigating through an album process. You gotta have a muse.
Mm.
You gotta write songs about somebody, right?
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you be thinking of TP? I'm doing too much?
I don't know what TP is. Maybe that's some inside joke for them. I don't know. Okay. So again, he seems to really be needing a muse. He really needs to as far as I can tell, he has really relied on girls, relationships, fantasies to write his music instead of using real experiences, or he has gone out of his way to create real experiences so that they are real, so that he can write a song about them. Somebody said a slave is not a muse. Agreed. But again, y'all, I don't know. Oh, TP is a code word for that person. I bet you that's what it is. I bet you TP is that person. Only TP I know is he's a succubus. Only TP I know is toilet paper. Yeah, but it could be that person. They were on a live stream, so he's trying not to say too much. Okay, got it. He did have a sheltered life prior. Yes, allegedly, according to him. Okay, so he's got to have a muse. He keeps saying that. Now, I want to show y'all why it is that people are saying that the toxicology report should be expected in the next couple days. And this is our next few days, or a couple weeks, I should say. This was 4 days ago. Steve Fisher says toxicology results in 10 days. This is a tweet that Steve Fisher had posted 4 days ago now. It appears based on tracking LA County Medical Examiner cases that most of the deaths previously listed as deferred, which were likely pending toxicology results, much like Celeste's, now have established causes and manners of death through about September 1st or 2nd. Now, when was Celeste Rivas Hernandez body discovered? I believe it was around September 8th. September 8th, I believe, is when her body was found. Yeah. This suggests, Steve Fisher Investigates says, this suggests that we could see a determination in the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case within the next 10 days. Again, y'all, this was 4 days ago. Now, Steve said that does not necessarily mean the full autopsy results will be completed by then. Okay, so don't come over here. Steve's like, don't come over here trying to ask me where is the autopsy results. That isn't what I'm saying. He's saying what it means is that an initial classification will likely be made of both cause and manner of death. So it'll be like natural causes or homicide, suicide, accidental, or undetermined. This assumes her case timeline is consistent with other recent cases at the medical examiner's office. So he's saying this is if Celeste Rivas Hernandez case and in her toxicology and autopsy and all that is treated with the same timeline as what we've been seeing in LA County, then we should expect to see in the next 6 days or so, because that is him tracking, what other people, what other cases have been doing. And then I will say Steve Fisher does have his share of haters, but for me, I have to take that with a grain of salt, because personally, if people have a whole bunch of haters following them around everywhere all the time and that are obsessed, usually for me, that kind of gives them some type of credit, because I know how it works. If you're actually just out here doing independent work for real, then you're just going to get swarmed by a group of probably paid haters. And now, that being said, I don't know any of these people. They might have reasons not to like him. I had never even heard of SF Investigates until 2 cases ago, like this Emmanuel Harrow case. I heard of him, and then he pops up on the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case. So I don't know anything about Steve Fisher Investigates. He seems, like just like a missing persons investigator as far as I'm concerned. But someone's like, for the love of God, this isn't a scavenger hunt. Can you just tell us what you saw? Why are you withholding all this information? You could have said nothing, but instead you chose to dangle this information like a carrot while thousands speculate. And he did respond. He said, because the information wasn't meant for you. It was meant to let certain people know that I know. So this is interesting because who is the certain people? I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is David. Could be he's talking about David, but what if he's talking about the police? What if he's letting the police know he knows what they left? I have reason to believe that one of the main reasons that private investigators do get hired is to make sure the cops are doing their jobs. So is that what's going on in this situation? I mean, Steve Fisher has not said so. He has also said that he doesn't really like a bunch of speculation. I can appreciate that he doesn't like speculation, but that is what, the public is going to do. The public is going to speculate, and especially whenever the public doesn't have a lot of solid information. Now, Steve Fisher is in a better position than most of us because he does have somewhat of some insider type of information because of his work with the landlord, the homeowner. So someone said, I see what everyone's saying, but I kind of agree with Steve's tactic. I have worked in HR doing investigations for a long time. And although it's not the same, one thing is consistent. People eventually fall into the trap because they would rather snitch on others than get in trouble. So someone's like, see, but isn't that baiting people? Isn't that like acting as a detective and taking the law into your own hands? No, he's not baiting everyone. He means he's trying to get Esmeralda to talk by posting that tweet. It isn't about anyone being baited. Okay, so people are going into like their opinions on Steve Fisher. Again, like that's not really my jurisdiction. Okay, so let's move on to the next item that I wanted to discuss here. Next topic. Okay, so someone said, yeah, no, I think it's important that he's saying it so other people know he knows. Who's the other people? Is it the friends? LAPD probably started rolling their eyes when they saw he was part of the investigation. Someone said SF is making people paranoid. Everyone is sketched out. SF said why he was doing it. Someone said, I thought I saw it. Hold on. He means the people involved. Could be. I mean, who knows? I mean, who really knows? We could speculate that. We really don't know. Somebody had said that he's doing it. I'm sorry, I can't find the comment. Somebody said that the reason he's doing it is to get the friends to talk. And that's kind of what this next topic is about. David's close friends, and this came out yesterday. This article came out yesterday. It says, David's close friends make telling move amid Celeste Rivas case. This is mensjournal.com by Kevin Harris, a writer for the Men's Journal. Back in September, authorities made a chilling discovery. They found the body in the trunk of the car, front trunk. Many questions remain in the case, including how Celeste did pass and end up in the car. One private investigator has taken up the case and made several findings. He was Steve Fisher, hired by the owner of Hollywood Hills home where David had been living when the body was found in his Tesla. And as he investigates the case, he has made some, quote, sadistic findings inside the house. He's also noticed some telling moves from the close friends. Now, we've really talked about these sadistic findings from inside the house, but we really haven't talked about the friends very much. David had a close-knit group of friends. Steve Fisher, a private investigator, was hired by the owner of the Hollywood Hills home where David had been living because the owner of the house wanted to find out, quote, what may have happened and if the house played a role in any way. During Steve Fisher's investigation into the house and some surveillance footage he was able to obtain, Steve Fisher has been able to determine that David had a tight-knit group of friends and associates who appeared to be living with him at the house. Okay, I do remember something about that being said. There was a tight-knit group of friends and they were living, but were they living with David at the house or just staying over there a lot? This is a quote from Steve Fisher to the Daily Mail being quoted in the mensjournal.com in this article that came out yesterday. Quote, there was a small inner circle, 2, 3, maybe 4 people who appeared to be living at the house and were very close with David. Okay. Who was living at the house? 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 2, 3, or 4? Small little inner circle of friends living at the house with David. According to Steve Fisher, it seemed like some of these people also had access to David's Tesla, where the body was found. Steve Fisher said, quote, there's also an indication that multiple people had access to the Tesla, which I believe to be the case, Steve Fisher said. David's friends make a telling move. While this group did appear to be quite tight-knit before the body was found, Steve Fisher made another revelation. He revealed that even though they might have been tight-knit before, they now appear to be, quote, creating some intentional distance from each other. A telling move given the gravity of the situation. This is a quote that's being given in mensjournal.com, and they're quoting apparently from the Daily Mail. It says, quote, after the story broke, they all started unfollowing each other and deleting posts that showed them together. Okay, so whoa, hold on. This might be old news. This did just come out yesterday, but after the story broke of the Celeste, body in the trunk situation, this supposed tight-knit group of friends that were supposedly all living together started unfollowing each other and deleting posts that showed them together. That's interesting. It's also worth noting that David and his close associates have since moved out of the house. While this is certainly suspicious behavior for a once tight-knit group of people amid an investigation into the 14-year-old girl's death, it obviously does not prove or suggest that they were in any way responsible for her death. Of course not. Of course not. However, it's clearly something that Steve Fisher took note of as he's trying to determine what happened. Okay, and that is the end of the article. So again, thought that y'all would find that to be very interesting. Yes, thank you, New Life Plan, for the $4.99 super chat. You really, even though you really should be thanking me for not calling the cops. Yes, seriously. Until I called the cops and then they did not care. That is true. Thanks so much to, well, at least the LAPD didn't care. Thanks so much to Ella for the $5 super chat. You give me Daphne from Scooby-Doo vibes. Investigating mysteries. Yes. Thank you so much, Sarah Adams, for the $10 super chat. Honest to God, I think they ordered a commercial incinerator. They are common on mid-sized farms for large animals. Ashes equals no DNA. That is interesting. K-Rock, thank you for the $4.99 super chat and for this information. So K-Rock said that on the most recent interview from Steve Fisher, when he went on Sidebar, he said that the equipment wasn't about dismembering. It wasn't a dismemberment type of equipment. No. It was about evaporating her. Okay, so that's bringing me back down to like, could it be an incinerator? Could be. Could it be a like some type of chemicals? Lye, acid. She said it was about, okay, K-Rock said it was at 26 minutes into the Sidebar interview. Thank you for that $4.99 super chat. Okay, so I want to move to the next topic of things that I want to bring to y'all's attention today. And that is, blink and you miss it, But like over a week ago, maybe close to 2 weeks ago, what appears to be the actual owner of the house, Malden Trifunovic, tweeted about this. And this, let me just read y'all the whole tweet thread because I missed this entirely. I did find this on Reddit, this link. Somebody said, SF investigates. Hey, Steve, hope you're having a nice day. I follow your work and I want to know, what are your main, this is October 23rd. So today is November 5th. Okay. So it was all the way back October 23rd. Someone's asking Steve Fisher a question on Twitter. Hi, Steve. Hope you're having a nice day. I follow your work and I want to know, what are your main concerns with the LAPD investigation around Celeste? Do you think they should be more vocal and transparent? Do you think they should be appealing to the public for help and tips? What are your main concerns at the moment? He said, I don't know if it's so much concern as it is frustration. This is Steve Fisher replying. I think they have enough to charge for concealment and then add charges if they still need toxicology to come back for possible other charges. Maybe this means they are getting some level of cooperation, and if they arrest, they know that cooperation will end. But I'm not sure what other information they could get from cooperating witnesses after this amount of time. Okay, so Steve Fisher, he's speculating, which is fine. But then look, Steve Fisher's apparent client, remember Steve Fisher was hired by the owner of the house, whose name is Malden Trifunovic. He commented, his class of Steve Fisher's client apparently appears to be him, commented on that. So again, just to remind you where we are, somebody said, hey, what's your concern, Steve? Private investigator, what are your concerns about how the LAPD is handling this investigation? What are you worried about? What is your concern? He said, I ain't concerned. I'm frustrated. They need to charge him for concealment or somebody for concealment. And then if they still need toxicology to come back, then they can do more charges. Maybe this means they're getting some type of cooperation. I don't know if they arrest, then maybe they're not going to get any more cooperation. The guy, the owner of the house, he comments, or maybe the case is 10 times bigger than what we think, or than we think. And many arrests are coming. Whoa, hold on. Steve Fisher's like, oh yeah, maybe they're cooperating with the investigation. The owner, the guy that hired Steve Fisher, according to public reporting, says, or maybe the case is a lot bigger than what they're reporting and a whole bunch of people are fit to be arrested. I didn't even know about this or hear about this until today, but this was tweeted all the way back on October 23rd. Somebody else did eventually comment to the reply to that tweet. I'm intrigued to see if this spreads as far back to Lori Howe and Ben Schulman, Danny Masterson's best friend, since David started spending a lot of time partying at Tenants of the Trees and Try Wednesdays. I don't know anything about that, but I did find that to be interesting. I wanted to show y'all that. Now, the next thing is I found the open payrolls page for the forensic assistant who's working on the case. This is Karen K. Tapia. She works at the coroner's office, and she's one of the people who's listed on the case in the medical examiner's office. And then we have the Dr. Nam, he doesn't have a picture here, but there's a little bio here. Ansel. Dr. Ansel Nam is the medical examiner assigned to Celeste's case of Loma Linda University School of Medicine, forensic pathology, bouldering, sleeping, board games, card games. I don't really know. I mean, that's it's really not very robust here. Let me actually put this in the Wayback Machine and see if he used to have a more robust profile on here. What in the hell is the deal with this? It's not working. Okay, there we go. Let's go just a little bit back. Let's go to 2024 and see if there's any more information on that medical examiner. Looks like there might have been some type of picture. Let's see. Let's go here. Hobbies are bouldering. So maybe it is some. No, he still has it. Bouldering, sleeping, board games, card games. So the profile hasn't changed. Yeah, no, that huge clock was weird. And so was the little girl statue. What was she going through at home? To run away so many times does make you think. I mean, who knows? I certainly wasn't speaking to her. There needs to be justice in this case. Okay. Shout out to John Miles. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. What up, cuz? Just saying hi and thank you. I appreciate you as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to Jax AC becoming a new member. Cute little puppy picture. What else do I have here? Yeah, the homeowner tweeted. That was a big one. Let me show y'all the coroner's office LA medical examiner case lookup. We'll look up Celeste's case. Again, I'm not expecting to hear anything back for like at least another week or so. But I have already purchased the documents. You can purchase them, but obviously they don't have them yet to send me. Case status is open. Body is released. Female, Hispanic, Latino. Investigator is Karen Tapia. That's the one we looked at first. And then Dr. Ansel Nam. Cause of death is still listed as deferred. Deferred means it's pending additional investigation. So that's pretty much it. Thanks so much, Nikki, for being a member for 5 months. Thank you for all you do on both channels. Love from your Scottish cousins. Shout out to the Scottish cousins. I know. I have covered this before, the GO, and then also with the RE, the Al Gore without Al. I have covered that before, that he allegedly was exposed to that as a young age and did enjoy watching it. Allegedly. I mean, I wasn't there. I never watched it with him or nothing. So, I mean, I really don't know. So the private investigator, Meg, no, this isn't, no, Meg, no. The private investigator was not alluding to the possibility of more than one arrest. The private investigator's client, apparently, again, I don't know if that was for sure him. Maybe it's another guy with that same exact name. Maybe it's somebody impersonating him. Maybe somebody made a fake Twitter. I don't know. I didn't ask the guy for his ID. But it appears like the guy that hired Steve Fisher was the one indicating that there may be more than one arrest and that this is 10 times bigger than we maybe thought. Could be. Very weird. Very weird, to say the least. So, yeah, I think shout out to Polo family. Let me see what else is happening over here on this. 1 second. Okay. I was going to send y'all to anybody live, but nobody's live right now. There was someone earlier this week impersonating SF Investigates. I did see that. I think the account got removed though now. Steve Fisher was threatened with a lawsuit recently. That is interesting. Bullhorn Betty I've heard of before. Yeah, so I don't really know. But it does look like the major takeaways that I do want to just make sure, that, I came on here to talk about. We can expect to see a toxicology result on this case in the next week or so. I wouldn't expect to see it before 6 days from now. I would expect it to be lining up exactly when the other ones are lining up. I don't think they're going to put I don't think they're going to put that out onto I don't think they're gonna skip the line now. If they were gonna skip the line and put her stuff up first, I think they would already done that. They did not do that. So, there's that. And then, so yeah, I think that it's gonna be in about 6 I think it's gonna be about 6 days. Maybe this time next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I think Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday is when we're gonna find out. Could be before that, I don't really know. The other thing I wanted to show y'all had to do with that little shovel, that guy with I think it was like a credible theory, I could see why he thought it. He said he used or she used a forensics software, whatever program. Thanks so much, Infamous Truth Teller 411 for the $5 super chat. Thank you a million times over for all you do. You are welcome. Yes, Joy Connolly, they have to build a rock solid case because y'all know how they do out here with these defense attorneys. Yeah, whatever people think of him, he's keeping the story alive. The justice system means nothing if they can eventually get pardoned out of prison. Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. That people need to serve their time. That's the truth. Okay, so I think that's all I really had for this one. Alaric Allen Ortega said, I feel like they're going to say it was an overdose since that what they've been pushing hard. And it could have been, but like overdoses can happen in a way that somebody caused them too. Things like that. I don't know. The thing about it is I wasn't there, y'all. So truly, I don't know. I mean, people do die from overdose. So I don't know. But I am interested to see what the coroner, the medical examiner is going to come out and say. That's all I really had for this one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.